The penthouse shattered like a bad dream when the chandelier crashed down. Shards of crystal raining over the champagne flutes and the oblivious crowd below. Nathan's heart slammed against his ribs as he shoved through the chaos. His tie askew, eyes locked on the man pinned under the wreckage. Caleb, his secret lover, blood trickling from a gash on his temple, whispering Nathan's name like a curse. In that frozen second, as sirens wailed in the distance and the party's glamour curdled into panic, Nathan realized the ring he'd slipped on Caleb's finger during their stolen midnight toast wasn't just a promise. It was a chain forged in fire, binding him to a throne he never wanted, in a realm that hungered for his soul. Nathan had always chased the rush of New York's underbelly, the kind that pulsed in dive bars and back-alley deals, where a guy's secrets could buy you a night or bury you alive. That Friday in late October, the air crisp with the bite of fallen leaves skittering across West Village sidewalks, he ducked into the Crimson Veil, a speakeasy hidden behind a laundromat on Bleecker Street. The place was a relic, all velvet booths and jazz records scratching like old regrets, drawing in artists, hustlers, and the occasional Wall Street ghost looking to shed their skin. He wasn't there for the crowd. Nathan, 28 and scraping by as a freelance graphic designer, had just ghosted his latest hookup, a finance bro who thought open relationship meant free passes to cheat. What he craved was anonymity, a drink that burned away the loneliness gnawing at his edges. He slid onto a stool at the Scarred Oak Bar, ordered a whiskey neat, and let his gaze wander. That's when Caleb walked in. Caleb wasn't like the others. He moved with the easy grace of someone who owned the shadows. His dark hair tousled just enough to look effortless, eyes like polished obsidian catching the low light. Mid-30s, maybe, in a charcoal button-down rolled to his elbows, sleeves hugging forearms etched with faint, swirling tattoos that seemed to shift when you blinked. He claimed the stool next to Nathan's without a word, signaling the bartender for two of the same. "Generous," Nathan said, arching a brow as the glasses clinked down. "But I don't drink with strangers." Caleb's smile was a slow burn, lips curving like he knew a punchline Nathan hadn't heard yet. "Then let's fix that, Caleb Voss. And you look like the type who collects regrets. Care to add one to the pile?" Nathan laughed, sharp and surprised. It had been months since anyone disarmed him like that. No games, just raw, unfiltered pull. They talked for hours, about the city's relentless grind, the way Times Square's neon lied about dreams coming easy, how Caleb had grown up in the Rust Belt hollows of Pennsylvania, clawing his way to Manhattan's art scene as a curator for underground galleries. Nathan spilled too. His dead-end gigs, the family back in Ohio who'd cut him off when he came out at 19, the hollow ache of loving men who vanished like smoke. By last call, the bar had emptied, leaving them in a haze of spilled confessions and lingering glances. Caleb's hand brushed Nathan's under the bar, fingers lingering, electric. "Walk with me," Caleb murmured, voice low, threaded with something darker than desire. They spilled onto the street, the city a labyrinth of steam vents and flickering signs. Nathan's pulse thrummed as Caleb pulled him into an alley, backing him against cool brick. The kiss hit like a storm, fierce, claiming, Caleb's body solid and unyielding, tasting of whiskey and sin. Nathan's hands fisted in Caleb's shirt, pulling him closer, the world narrowing to the heat between them. The scrape of stubble, the way Caleb growled his name like it was a spell. They ended up at Caleb's loft in Soho, a cavernous space of exposed brick and canvases splashed with infernal reds and blacks. Abstract infernos that made Nathan's skin prickle. Clothes shed in a frenzy, they tumbled onto silk sheets, bodies twisting in the dim glow of city lights filtering through floor-to-ceiling windows. Caleb was everywhere, hands mapping Nathan's scars, mouth tracing the curve of his hip, whispers in Nathan's ear that blurred the line between lover and confessor. "You're mine tonight," Caleb breathed, as Nathan arched beneath him, lost in the rhythm of gasps and slick skin. Dawn crept in gray and unforgiving, but Caleb didn't let go. They lay tangled, Nathan's head on Caleb's chest, listening to the steady thud that felt like home. "This isn't just a one-off," Caleb said, fingers tracing lazy circles on Nathan's back. "I've been waiting for someone like you." Nathan wanted to believe it, even as doubt flickered. Guys like him didn't get fairy tales, they got fragments, echoes. But Caleb's eyes held steady, promising more. Over the next weeks, it unfolded like a fever dream. Dates in hidden jazz clubs, stolen weekends in the Hamptons where Caleb's laugh cut through the salt air like sunlight. Nathan designed logos for Caleb's gallery shows, their worlds bleeding together seamlessly. Caleb introduced him to a circle of eccentrics. Painters with eyes too sharp, poets who spoke in riddles, friends who eyed Nathan with a mix of curiosity and caution, like he was a puzzle they couldn't quite place. One night, after a gallery opening in Chelsea where champagne flowed like rivers of gold, Caleb pulled Nathan aside into a back room lined with mirrors that reflected infinite versions of them. "I need to show you something," Caleb said, his voice edged with gravity. From a hidden drawer, he produced a ring, ancient, obsidian banded with veins of what looked like frozen lava, warm to the touch. "It's a family heirloom," Caleb explained, slipping it onto Nathan's finger. It fit perfectly, humming faintly against his skin. "In my line, promises aren't casual. This binds us." Nathan's throat tightened. "Binds how?" Caleb cupped his face, thumb brushing his lip. "Deeply, eternally. Say yes and it's ours." The words slipped out before Nathan could overthink it. "Yes." The ring sealed with a pulse of heat, like a heartbeat sinking. They made love there, amid the mirrors, reflections multiplying their ecstasy, until Nathan swore he saw flames dancing in Caleb's eyes. It was perfect, terrifyingly so. But perfection in New York always cracked. Whispers started. A mutual friend, Lena, pulling Nathan aside at a party. "Caleb's not what he seems. Ask him about the Voss legacy. And get that ring off before it's too late." Nathan brushed it off as jealousy, but the seed burrowed. That night, alone in his cramped Brooklyn walk-up, he twisted the ring, feeling its unnatural warmth. A Google search on Voss family heirloom yielded nothing but dead ends. Obscure genealogy sites mentioning a line of Pennsylvania industrialists who vanished in the 1800s amid rumors of occult dealings. Caleb noticed the shift. "What's eating you?" he asked over takeout Thai in the loft, his touch gentler, probing. "Just Lena's bullshit." Nathan forced a smile. "She say anything to you?" Caleb's jaw tightened, a shadow crossing his face. "People talk. They fear what they don't understand." He leaned in, kissing Nathan slow and deep, melting the doubt. "Trust me." Nathan did for a while, until the dreams started. They came in fragments. Vast caverns of obsidian and flame, screams echoing like wind through canyons. A throne carved from bone where Caleb sat, crowned in shadows, reaching for Nathan with hands that burned. He'd wake gasping, the ring scorching his finger, Caleb's arm heavy around him, murmuring apologies in a language that twisted like smoke. By Thanksgiving, the city blanketed in early snow, Nathan confronted him. They stood on the loft's balcony, Manhattan glittering below like a false promise. "What the hell is this ring, Caleb? And don't feed me that heirloom line." Caleb's eyes darkened, the wind whipping his hair. For a moment, Nathan thought he'd bolt. Instead, Caleb sighed, a sound like cracking ice. "Sit down. This isn't a story. It's a reckoning." What followed unraveled everything. Caleb Voss wasn't a curator. He was the last of the Voss bloodline, guardians of a rift, a tear in reality between the mortal coil and the infernal realms. The ring, a sigil of the Archon, the king of the ninth circle, passed down through cursed generations. By accepting it, Nathan hadn't just pledged love. He'd bound his soul as consort, heir to a throne in hell itself. "You're insane," Nathan whispered, yanking at the ring. It wouldn't budge, skin fusing like it was always meant to be there. "This is some cult shit, right? A prank." Caleb's laugh was bitter. "I wish. The Vosses have walked the line for centuries. Mediators, not monsters. But the realms are unstable. Demons claw at the veil and the old king. He chose me as successor. I fought it, Nathan. Hid here in this world, pretending I could outrun it. Then you walked in, and for the first time I thought maybe I could share the burden. Make it mean something. Nathan's world tilted. The tattoos on Caleb's arms. They weren't ink. They were wards, glowing faintly now in the night air. The gallery's art? Veiled maps of infernal topography. And the friends? Emissaries, half-breeds skulking in human skin. Why me? Nathan demanded, voice cracking. Some random nobody? Because you're pure fire, Caleb said, stepping close, desperation raw in his gaze. No guile, no chains. You see the dark and don't flinch. I need you to rule with me, or it'll consume us both. The kiss that followed was desperate, a plea wrapped in passion. Nathan hated how he melted into it, how his body betrayed his reeling mind. But as Caleb's hands roamed, familiar and fierce, Nathan felt the pull. Not just lust, but something deeper, a tether humming with otherworldly heat. They didn't make love that night. Nathan stormed out, hailing a cab to Brooklyn, the ring a lead weight on his hand. He crashed on his couch, scrolling through occult forums till dawn, piecing together fragments. The ninth circle as a bureaucratic hell of contracts and regrets, the Archon as eternal arbiter, consorts as anchors to humanity. By noon, Lena called. Told you. Meet me at the Vale. We can break it. She waited in a booth, her usual bohemian flair edged with steel. 40s, sharp-featured. A tattoo of thorns creeping up her neck. Caleb's family? They're not guardians. They're jailers. The ring's a soul trap. Once it sets, you're his body, essence, everything. And hell? It's not metaphors. It's bureaucracy on steroids. Demons filing lawsuits for stolen souls. Eternal audits of human sins. Caleb's next in line, but he's soft. Too human. You accept, you become queen or king, whatever, and help him hold the throne. Refuse? The rift tears wider, and New York becomes ground zero for the spillover. Nathan's stomach churned. How do I get out? Lena's eyes softened. There's a ritual. Blood of the binder, words of unmaking. But Caleb has to agree. And he won't. He's in love, idiot. Love. The word hung heavy as the ring. Nathan thought of Caleb's laugh in the Hamptons. The way he'd traced Nathan's jaw like it was art. Was it real or just infernal bait? That evening, he returned to the loft. Caleb was pacing, face drawn, a half-empty bourbon in hand. You came back. To end this, Nathan said, holding up his hand. Take it off. Caleb's expression fractured, hurt, fury, longing. You think it's that easy? The bindings started. Pull too hard, and it rips you apart. Prove it, Nathan challenged. Show me. What followed was dissent. Caleb traced a sigil on the floor with salt and candle wax, chanting in a tongue that made the air thicken. The ring flared, and the loft warped, walls bleeding into cavernous stone, the balcony opening to a chasm of roiling clouds and distant howls. Nathan's knees buckled as visions assaulted him. Thrones of twisted iron, courtiers with eyes like coals, Caleb enthroned, regal and ruthless, extending a hand. See, Caleb whispered, as reality snapped back. This is us, or nothing. Nathan retched into the sink, the taste of ash in his mouth. But beneath the terror, a spark. Admiration for Caleb's burden, the loneliness of his crown. I can't, he gasped. Not like this. Caleb pulled him close, embrace fierce. Then fight with me. Change it. We rule together, make hell less hellish. Humanize it. The plea lingered as they fell into bed, bodies seeking solace in familiarity. It was tender, almost chaste. Kisses like confessions, touches mapping fears. Nathan came undone under Caleb, whispering doubts into his skin. And for a moment, the ring felt like a bridge, not a noose. But dawn brought clarity. Nathan slipped out while Caleb slept, the ring a dull throb. He met Lena at a occult supply shop in the East Village, shelves crammed with grimoires and herbs that smelled of earth and regret. The ritual needs his blood, she confirmed, handing him a vial of silver liquid essence of unbinding. Trick him or convince him. Guilt twisted Nathan's gut. Trick the man he was falling for? But the alternative, ruling a underworld he didn't choose, chilled him deeper. The betrayal brewed that week, a storm cloud over their fragile peace. Caleb sensed it, growing distant, snaps of temper flaring like hellfire. At a holiday party in the gallery, amid twinkling lights and forced cheer, Nathan cornered him in the storage room. "We need to talk. Really talk." Caleb's eyes narrowed. "About the ritual Lena's whispering in your ear?" "Yeah, I know." Nathan froze. "How?" "I'm the fucking king of hell, Nathan. Secrets are my currency." Hurt laced his words, raw as a wound. "You think I don't see? You're scared. Run if you want. But this," he tapped the ring. "It's not a game. The realms feel it. Demons are stirring." As if summoned, the lights flickered, a low rumble shaking the foundations. Guests murmured, but Nathan felt it. A tear, small but vicious, spilling acrid smoke from the walls. Caleb's face hardened, authority snapping into place. He barked orders to his friends, who moved like shadows, sealing the rift with chants and blood pricks. Nathan watched, awed and horrified. This was Caleb's world. Command amid chaos, power that bent reality. When the smoke cleared, Caleb turned, exhausted. "See what happens when bonds fray?" Nathan's resolve cracked. "I don't want to run, but I need choice." Caleb's laugh was hollow. "Choice is the first casualty down there." They left the party early, walking silent streets dusted with snow. Back in the loft, tension crackled. "Show me more," Nathan demanded. "Not visions, real." Caleb hesitated, then nodded. "The rift. Tonight." They drove north, out of the city into the pine barrens of Jersey, whispers of the devil's domain, fittingly. Deep in the pines, where moonlight barely pierced the canopy, Caleb led him to a clearing ringed by ancient oaks, their bark scarred like warnings. He sliced his palm, blood dripping onto moss, and the air split. A jagged portal of crimson light, heat blasting like an open furnace. Nathan stepped through, heart hammering, into a vestibule of hell. Vast halls of polished basalt, lit by floating orbs of hellfire, clerks in tattered suits shuffling parchments of souls. Demons glanced up, horned, scaled, but oddly bureaucratic, murmuring about overdue redemptions and appeals denied. Caleb guided him, hand firm on Nathan's back. "This is the antechamber. Contracts get filed here. Beyond, the circles, each a layer of consequence." They ventured deeper, past iron gates into the second circle, winds howling with the wails of the lustful, figures tumbling in eternal tempests. Nathan's stomach roiled, but Caleb's touch grounded him. "It's not punishment for punishment's sake," Caleb explained, voice tight. "It's consequence. Lust unbound destroys. Here, they learn." Further still, the fifth, where rivers of black ichor carried the wrathful, snarling and submerged. A massive, bull-headed enforcer nodded to Caleb deferentially. Nathan glimpsed glimpses. A circle for greed, vaults of hoarded gold melting into acid. Envy, mirrors reflecting twisted selves. At the ninth's heart, the throne room loomed. A frozen lake of damned ice, winds keening with traitors' cries. The throne rose from its center, ebony and spiked, empty but pulsing with latent power. Caleb stopped at the edge, face pale. "This is mine. Ours if you stay." Nathan's breath fogged, the cold seeping into his bones. "It's lonely." Caleb's eyes met his, vulnerable. "That's why I need you. To remind me why mercy matters." They returned through the portal as dawn broke, the drive back silent but charged. In the loft, Nathan pulled Caleb close, the kiss starting soft, building to urgency. Clothes fell away, bodies pressing in the morning light, a reclaiming. Caleb was reverent, mapping Nathan with lips and hands, whispering, "Stay with me." Nathan yielded, lost in the tide, the ring warming like approval. But doubt lingered, a shadow in paradise. Lena's calls went unanswered, her warnings echoing. As Christmas neared, With the city aglow in garlands and Nathan's freelance checks drying up, the pressure mounted. Caleb threw himself into preparations, warding the loft, meeting shadowy contacts, leaving Nathan adrift. One blizzard night, holed up with mulled wine, Nathan broached it. "If I say yes, for real, what then?" Caleb's smile was tentative hope. "We wed in the mortal world first, anchor it human, then descend. Rule with heart, reform the circles, offer paths to redemption. Make it livable." The vision tempted, power tempered by love, hell remade. But the ring's weight whispered of chains. The turning point came at the penthouse party. A lavish affair in a Tribeca high-rise, Caleb's coming out, as it were, to his inner circle. The space dripped opulence. Crystal chandeliers, jazz quartet, caterers in crisp white. Nathan, in a borrowed velvet jacket, felt out of place among the ethereal guests, their beauty too perfect, laughs too knowing. Midway, as champagne toasts rang, Caleb pulled him onto the dance floor, bodies swaying to a sultry saxophone. "This is it," Caleb murmured, nuzzling his ear. "Our night." Nathan's heart swelled, but Lena's face in the crowd soured it. She mouthed now. As the song crested, Nathan slipped away, vial burning in his pocket. In the powder room he uncorked it, silver liquid gleaming. The ritual words tumbled out, shaky. Latin phrases Lena drilled into him, invoking unbinding. The ring ignited, pain lancing up Nathan's arm. He cried out, collapsing as the door burst open. Caleb, eyes wild with betrayal. "You?" Caleb breathed, horror dawning. "Why?" The loft's wards screamed, the city outside rumbling as rifts cracked open. Demons spilled, clawed things in tailored suits, clawing at the veil. Chaos erupted. Guests shifting forms, screams mingling with shattering glass. Nathan staggered out, vial empty, ring cracking but not yielding. Caleb grabbed him, dragging him to the balcony as the chandelier groaned above. "You don't get it. This weakens everything." Above, the fixture tore free, plummeting in a cascade of light and death. The chandelier hit like divine judgment, 1,000 crystal daggers exploding across the marble floor. Screams pierced the air as partygoers scattered. Some human, fleeing in terror. Others, the hidden infernal, snarling as they countered the breach. Nathan hit the deck hard, shards slicing his palms, the metallic tang of blood mixing with spilled Dom Perignon. Above him, Caleb hovered, body shielding Nathan's, his shirt torn, a gash weeping red across his shoulder. "Stay down," Caleb roared, voice commanding the storm. He thrust a hand skyward, tattoos igniting in hellfire glyphs, staunching the rift's flow. Smoke curled from the walls, acrid and sulphurous, but the demons, 3 of them, sleek as panthers with eyes like molten gold, lunged, claws raking for Nathan's throat. He rolled, instinct kicking in, grabbing a fallen champagne flute and smashing it into the nearest beast's maw. Glass shattered, drawing ichor-black blood. Buying seconds. Caleb was a blur, tackling another, fists glowing as they connected, sending it crumpling with a yelp. The third pinned Nathan, breath hot and fetid, jaws unhinging. Then Caleb was there, wrenching it off, hurling it through a window into the night. The creature's howl echoed as it plummeted 30 stories, the rift swallowing its fall. Panting, Caleb hauled Nathan up, grip bruising. "We have to seal you now, or it'll drag us both under." Betrayal warred with fear in Nathan's chest. "This is your world, not mine." "It's ours," Caleb snapped, eyes flashing crimson. Sirens wailed closer, the mortal authorities closing in. "Move!" They bolted for the service stairs, the building shuddering as more fissures cracked. Paintings bleeding, floors buckling. Lena appeared at a landing, face ashen, a satchel of ritual herbs slung over her shoulder. The unbinding, did it work? Nathan glanced at his hand. The ring fissured, but clung, pulsing erratically. "Halfway, it's fighting," she cursed, low and filthy. "Then we finish it topside. The roof, open sky for the invocation." Caleb whirled on her, fury incarnate. You poisoned him against me. For what? Your little rebellion. Lena met his glare, unbowed. For choice, your highness. You can't force a king from a mortal. It dooms us all. The stairwell trembled, a demon horde clawing up from below. Dozens now, summoned by the bond's fracture. Caleb blasted a sigil, sealing the door with flame, but cracks spiderwebbed the metal. Go! I'll hold them. Nathan hesitated, the man he'd loved, still loved, standing defiant, bloodied but unbreakable. Caleb! Run, damn you! Caleb shoved him upward, turning to face the breach. Nathan climbed, lungs burning, Lena at his heels. The rooftop door burst open to a gale-whipped helipad. Manhattan's skyline a jagged halo under storm clouds boiling unnatural red. Helicopters chopped the air in the distance, news choppers scenting scandal. Lena chalked a hasty circle, scattering sage and obsidian shards. Kneel. Repeat after me. Ex salvo vinculum anima libera. Blood on the ring, yours or his. Nathan sliced his palm with a shard, smearing crimson over the obsidian. The words rasped out, Latin twisting on his tongue. The ring shrieked, heat searing flesh, visions flashing. The throne room thawing, demons rioting. Caleb's silhouette amid the fray. Below, an explosion rocked the building, Caleb's barrier failing. Nathan's chant faltered. He's down there. Finish it, Lena urged. Or we're all fodder. He pushed on, the ring cracking audibly, shards flaking into ash. Relief flooded him as it crumbled, falling to the gravel like dead weight. The air lightened, rifts below flickering shut. But victory soured. A guttural roar split the night. Caleb, emerging from the stairwell, dragging a limp demon by its throat. His eyes locked on Nathan's bare finger. Devastation raw. You did it. Nathan stood, wind lashing his hair. I had to. This isn't me. Caleb dropped the corpse, advancing slow, like a predator reigning in rage. You think freedom's free? The bond was protection, now the realms claim what's owed. You'll be hunted. Hunted until you break or beg back. Lena stepped between them, a thame drawn. Back off, Archon. The unbinding holds. Caleb's laugh was ice. For now. But love like ours? It echoes. He glanced at Nathan, gaze stripping bare. I never lied about that. Police lights flashed below, shouts rising. Caleb vanished in a swirl of shadow, leaving only the echo of his scent. Smoke and sandalwood. Nathan spent the night in a holding cell, questioned about the gas leak that wrecked the penthouse. No one mentioned demons. The infernal cleaned their messes. Released by dawn, he crashed at Lena's Chinatown walk-up, a cluttered nest of incense and forbidden tomes. You're safe, she said over weak coffee, bandaging his cuts. The hunters'll sniff, but without the ring, you're ghost. Safe. The word mocked. Nathan's apartment had been ransacked, furniture clawed, walls scorched with warnings. Return or burn. Caleb's touch lingered in memory. The curve of his neck, the way he'd hum off-key to Sinatra. Betrayal cut both ways. Nathan's ritual a knife in the gut, but Caleb's omissions the deeper wound. Weeks blurred into a numb haze. New York turned frigid, holidays mocking with cheer. Nathan holed up, sketching infernal landscapes from memory. Freelancing drying to dust as paranoia gnawed. Shadows moved wrong. Whispers and crowds called his name. Lena trained him. Wards etched in salt, amulets of rowan and iron. You're marked, she admitted. Consorts echo, but you can fight it. Fight, for what? A life half-lived. Love's ghost haunting every glance at a dark-haired stranger. One night, feverish with wine, Nathan dialed a burner number Lena slipped him. Caleb? We need to talk. Silence, then. Where? The meet was neutral ground. A derelict pier in Red Hook, waves slapping pilings under a moonless sky. Caleb arrived alone, coat collar high, face gaunt. The curator's polish eroded to something feral. You look like hell, Nathan said, voice cracking. Caleb's smirk didn't reach his eyes. Pot, kettle. He lit a cigarette, flame illuminating fresh scars. What do you want, Nathan? Absolution. Forgiveness, Nathan corrected. For both of us. They walked the pier, words tumbling like loose gravel. Caleb confessed. The Voss line's curse, how he dodged ascension for decades, curating as camouflage. Meeting Nathan? Fate's cruel joke. A mortal flame to his eternal frost. I thought we could rewrite it. You and me against the pit. Nathan's chest ached. You should have told me day one. Would you have stayed? Caleb's voice broke. Run from the devil or run to him? They stopped at the end. City lights, distant fireflies. Nathan reached out, tracing Caleb's jaw, thumb brushing lips. I don't know, but this us it's real, right? Not just the ring. Caleb leaned into the touch, eyes closing. Real as sin. The kiss ignited slow, tentative, then desperate. Hands fisting coats, bodies pressing against rusted rail. It was reclamation, salt and regret on tongues. Nathan's fingers threading Caleb's hair as if to anchor him. They broke apart gasping, foreheads touching. Come back, Nathan whispered. No throne, just us. Caleb's laugh was pained. Can't. The call's stronger now, without you, it's devouring me. He pulled back, shadows coiling at his feet. Stay hidden. Live for both of us. He dissolved into night, leaving Nathan adrift, the echo of his heartbeat a phantom thrum. Spring thawed the city, but Nathan's world stayed winter. He moved to Lena's, taking odd jobs, barista by day, wardcrafter by night. Dreams plagued him. The throne room, empty but for Caleb's silhouette, reaching. Hunters came. Sleek imps in cabs, whispering temptations. Power, riches, Caleb's head on a platter. One ambushed him in a subway tunnel, claws glinting under fluorescent buzz. Nathan fought dirty, salt from his pocket, iron nail to the eye, escaping with gashes that burned like accusation. Lena patched him, worry etching lines. They're escalating. The Arkansas fracturing without a consort. Factions rising, old lords gunning for the throne. Nathan's gut twisted. Caleb alone against that? I have to help. She shook her head. You go back, you're trapped again. But inaction festered. Messages arrived. Dead drops of black roses. Petals inscribed with Enochian. Miss you. Hold the line. Nathan's resolve frayed. Love a tether pulling south. The climax brewed in June, humidity thick as deceit. A summons came, not from Caleb, but a rival. Lord Asmode, a silver-tongued fiend in a pinstripe suit, cornering Nathan at a gallery opening. Irony's bite. Your paramour's weakening, Asmode purred, breath like cinnamon smoke. Join me. Rule as you were meant. Lavish, unchained. Nathan played along, meeting Asmode's envoy in a Hell's Kitchen diner, greasy spoons and flickering neons. The deal. Betray Caleb's wards, open a major rift for Asmode's coup. In exchange, Nathan's freedom and Caleb's life, spared as a puppet. Revulsion warred with temptation. Spy for the enemy to save the lover who'd lied? But visions of Caleb dethroned, broken, tipped the scale. He fed Asmode half-truths, stalling while plotting with Lena. We reinforce the veil, she said. Draw them out. The trap sprung on a sweltering solstice night. Central Park's ramble a tangle of shadows and secrets. Nathan lured Asmode's forces, a pack of lesser demons, glamored as joggers and dogwalkers, to the old Bethesda terrace, wards prepped in the fountain's basin. Chaos erupted at midnight. Howls shattering the hush, tourists fleeing as illusions dropped. Nathan chanted from Lena's grimoire, water boiling to steam, binding the horde. But Asmode himself appeared, towering, wings like oil slicks, laughing as he shattered the circle. You think this ends me, boy king? Asmode sneered, claws raking Nathan's side, pain blooming hot. Then Caleb crashed the fray, a tempest of fury, hellfire wreathing his fists, eyes ablaze. He tore into Asmode, blows landing like thunder, the park trembling. Touch him again, and I'll unmake you. The battle was brutal poetry. Caleb dodging lashes of shadow, countering with blasts that scorched earth. Asmode summoning chains of regret, ghostly figures clawing at Caleb's heels. Visions of lost loves, betrayed trusts. Nathan staggered up, hurling a vial of unbinding essence, shattering a chain, freeing Caleb for the killing strike. Asmode fell, dissolving to ash, his horde scattering. The park stilled, birds fleeing the unnatural dawn. Caleb collapsed beside Nathan, bloodied, breathing ragged. "You came. Couldn't let you hog the hero bit?" Nathan quipped, wincing as he pressed cloth to his wound. Lena emerged from hiding, nodding approval. "Rift stable for now." But Caleb's gaze held storm clouds. "This changes nothing. The throne calls louder. Without balance." Nathan silenced him with a kiss, fierce amid the carnage. "Then we'll find balance. Together. No rings, no curses. Just us, fighting smart." Caleb searched his face, hope flickering. "You mean that? Every damn word." They limped out as cops swarmed, Lena covering tracks with a glamour. Back in the loft, wards reinforced, air thick with possibility. They tended wounds, bodies close in the tub, water steaming. Touches turned intimate, exploratory. Nathan tracing Caleb's scars. Caleb kissing away blood. Murmurs of sorry and stay. Making love was healing, slow, deliberate, reclaiming agency. Caleb moved with reverence, entering Nathan with a gasp that echoed souls sinking. No magic but the raw kind. They climaxed tangled, tears mingling. The city humming approval beyond the windows. Yet dawn brought reality. "The realms won't wait," Caleb said, fingers laced with Nathan's. "We need a plan." Nathan nodded, stealing. "Rule from afar? Proxies? Reforms by proxy." Caleb's smile dawned, tentative. "Or visit. Show them humanity's not weakness." Their pact formed over coffee and blueprints, Nathan sketching infernal policy docs, blending bureaucracy with mercy clauses. Lena joined, a reluctant ally, her cynicism cracking under their fire. Summer deepened, love ripening amid strategy. Stolen nights in rooftop gardens, bodies slick under stars. Days plotting in cafes, laughing over demon HR jokes. But shadows loomed, whispers of greater threats. The old kings stirring in abyssal depths. One August eve, as fireflies danced in Prospect Park, Caleb proposed anew. Not with rings, but words. "Be my equal, Nathan. Not bound, but chosen." Nathan's yes was a vow, sealed with a kiss that tasted of forever. But hell doesn't yield easy. Whispers grew to roars. A coup brewing in the seventh circle. Wrath lords rallying against Caleb's softness. Scouts reported rifts spiking, mortal sin spilling, random violence in subways, suicide spiking. "We go in," Caleb decided, over a war room table strewn with maps. "Face it head on." Nathan's pulse raced. Together. The descent was ritual, not rupture. A controlled rift in the loft, Caleb's blood opening a velvet portal. They stepped through hand in hand, into the antechamber. Busier now, clerks frantic. Words spread like hellfire. Courtiers assembled, a murmur of silk and scales. The throne room awaited, ice cracking underfoot as they approached. Caleb ascended, Nathan at his side. Not subservient, but partner, chin high. The assembly hushed, eyes wary. "My consort returns," Caleb proclaimed, voice echoing. "Not by chain but choice, and with him change." Murmurs rippled. Approval from the young, snarls from elders. A herald announced the rebels. Lord Belial, ancient and vengeful, marching with legions. The war council convened in side chambers, air thick with brimstone debate. Nathan's mortal insights cut through. Punishment blinds, offer redemption arcs. Contracts with escape clauses. Skeptics scoffed, but Caleb backed him, eyes fierce. "We evolve or perish." As armies massed, Nathan trained, learning basic evocations, wielding a blade of sanctified steel. Nights, amid the frozen winds, they'd steal moments. Pressed against throne room pillars, quick and heated, grounding in flesh what strategy couldn't. The battle broke at the Styx's ford, rivers boiling with wrath. Legions clashed, demons and phalanxes, spells crackling like artillery. Nathan fought at Caleb's flank, blades singing, dodging lashes of fury flame. A bolt grazed him, searing, but Caleb's shield flared, pulling him close. "Stay with me," Caleb yelled over the din. Belial loomed, a colossus of rage, hammer swinging. Caleb met him, powers colliding in cataclysm, ice shattering, winds howling. Nathan flanked, hurling a redemption sigil leaned taut, binding Belial's arm, siphoning wrath to calm. It faltered the giant, giving Caleb the opening. A spear of pure will, piercing heart core. Belial crumbled, essence scattering to the winds. Victory echoed, but Pyrrhic, fields littered, allies fallen. Back on the throne, Caleb slumped, Nathan at his feet, hand in hair. "We did it." "We," Caleb echoed, pulling him up to share the seat. The court watched, shifting, respect dawning. Reforms rolled, mercy tribunals, soul rehab circles. Nathan's touch humanized, art therapy for the envious, music wards for the lustful. Hell grumbled but bent, the realm stabilizing. Yet personal costs lingered. Rifts pulled at Caleb, draining. Nathan aged mortal, while eternity loomed. "What if I can't keep up?" Nathan confessed one night, bodies entwined in a chamber of silk and embers. Caleb kissed his brow. "Then we find a way. Mortals and eternals, we're the bridge." Fall returned topside, leaves turning in Central Park. They split time, weeks in the loft, plotting, descents for decrees. Love deepened, romantic in stolen ways. Picnics on infernal meadows, dances in mortal clubs, hands always finding each other. One crisp November eve, 2 years on, Nathan stood on that Red Hook pier, Caleb beside. "Worth the accident?" Caleb teased, ringless fingers laced. Nathan grinned, pulling him close. Every shattered chandelier. Their kiss sealed it, human, infernal, whole. Winter gripped the city again, snow muffling Manhattan's roar into a conspiratorial hush. But for Nathan and Caleb, the cold was just another layer to peel back. Their rhythm had settled into something sacred. Mornings tangled in the loft's king-sized bed, sunlight slanting through blinds to paint golden stripes across sweat-damp skin. Afternoons in coffee shops where Nathan sketched urban hellscapes on napkins, Caleb murmuring approvals with that low, gravelly timbre that still sent shivers down Nathan's spine. Evenings? A mix? Gallery hops for Caleb's cover? Or descents into the realms where Nathan's fresh eyes sparked reforms that had the demonic bureaucracy buzzing like a hive on caffeine. It wasn't all poetry. The hunters hadn't quit. Stragglers from Belial's faction nipped at their heels, manifesting as subway muggings gone spectral or tailgate phantoms on the FDR. Nathan carried iron now, tucked in his boot, and wards tattooed fresh on his ribs. Delicate thorns that itched when trouble brewed. Caleb, ever the guardian, taught him counters. A flick of fingers to summon binding winds, a whispered oath to cloak in shadow. "You're a natural," Caleb said one night, after Nathan dispersed a trio of imps in a Washington Square fountain, their hisses fading to mist. They celebrated in a hidden village bistro, oysters and Sancerre, feet hooked under the table. Caleb's gaze lingered, heated. "Makes me want to drag you home." Nathan smirked, toes teasing up Caleb's calf. Promises. Home meant the loft, always. They made it theirs. Nathan's graphic prints on walls, mingling with Caleb's infernal abstracts. A shelf of mismatched mugs from road trips, Asbury Park boardwalks, Finger Lakes vineyards. Sex was their liturgy, sometimes frantic against the kitchen counter, dishes clattering. Others languid in the shower, water cascading as Caleb knelt, mouth worshipful, drawing moans that echoed off tiles. Nathan learned Caleb's tells. The hitch in breath before release, the way his hands trembled post-climax, vulnerable as a confessional. But vulnerability bred cracks. Caleb's descents lengthened, days turning to weeks, the throne's pull inexorable. "Just audits," he'd say on returns, face drawn, eyes shadowed. Nathan pressed, but walls rose, old habits of solitude. Then came the visions. Not dreams, but bleed-throughs. Waking glimpses of the ninth, courtiers' faces twisted in conspiracy. Whispers of the mortal weakens him. Nathan woke sweating, Caleb sighed cold, the air tasting of ash. He confronted it over breakfast, avocado toast gone cold. They're plotting again, aren't they? Caleb's fork paused. Paranoia's the job perk. Nothing solid. Bullshit. Nathan's voice sharpened. American blunt. I see it, the way you flinch at summons. Talk to me. Caleb sighed, rubbing temples. A faction. Purists wanting traditional rule, eternal torment, no rehab. They see you as leverage. Remove the human. Restore the archon. Nathan's blood chilled. So I'm bait. No. Caleb reached across, grip fierce. Your armor. But, yeah, risk. The admission hung a guillotine blade. Nathan pulled away, pacing to the window, skyline indifferent. I didn't sign up for target practice. Caleb rose, arms encircling from behind, chin on shoulder. None of us did. But we adapt. Together. The embrace turned heated. Caleb's lips on neck, hands slipping under shirt to trace tattoos. Nathan yielded, spinning to claim mouth, pushing back against glass, cold pain, hot skin. They tumbled to the rug, urgent. Nathan straddling, grinding down as Caleb's fingers dug hips, gasps mingling with pleas. It was affirmation, bodies affirming what words fumbled. Post-bliss, plans coalesced. Lena looped in, her network of half-breeds yielding intel. The purists led by Lady Nyx, a serpent-formed schemer in the eighth circle. Envy her venom. She's rallying. Lena warned over dim sum in Flushing. Plans to poison the well. Literal. Sticks taint to corrupt the throne. Counter, infiltrate. Nathan's mortal guile as edge. I'll pose as defector, he pitched. Get close. Spike her wine with truth serum. Caleb balked. Too dangerous. Send a proxy. And trust them not to flip? Nathan countered. It's me or bust. Reluctant nod. Training intensified. Glamour spells to mask scent. Venom resistance via bitter elixirs that left Nathan retching. Caleb's lessons bordered obsessive. Sparring in the loft, bodies slick, ending in frustrated rutting against mats. Descent night, solstice swelter mirroring infernal heat. The portal hummed open in their bedroom, a maw of ruby light. Nathan stepped through alone, glamour rippling, features sharpening to demonic allure, eyes glowing amber. Caleb's goodbye kiss lingered, tasting of fear. Come back whole. The eighth circle was a labyrinth of mirrors, reflections mocking sins. Nyx's citadel loomed, spires of quicksilver, courtiers slithering in silks. Nathan, now Nathar, exiled consort, gained audience, spinning tales of resentment. The Archon dilutes us with mercy. I seek alliance. Nyx coiled on her dais, scales iridescent, tongue flicking. Prove loyalty. Fetch the mortal's heart, beating. Nathan's gut roiled, but he bowed, slipping into shadows. The real play, eavesdrop, plant the serum in her chalice during feast. The hall writhed with excess. Dancers in flesh veils, wines of forgotten sorrows. Nathan wove through, heart pounding, serum vial palmed. Contact came subtle. A servant, Lena's plant, nodding to the dais. Nathan approached, feigning obeisance, chalice offered. To new reigns, lady. She drank, eyes narrowing. Serum hit fast, truth spilling. Plots detailed, allies named, the Styx ritual's date. But betrayals sent drew hounds. A mirror cracked, revealing spies. Alarms wailed, serpents lunging. Nathan bolted, glamour fraying, vial shattering on stone. Claws raked his back, venom burning. But he fought. Blade flashing, mirrors exploding in shards that blinded pursuers. The portal back yawned in a hidden alcove, Caleb's wards guiding. He dove through, collapsing in the loft, blood pooling. Caleb was there, scooping him up, face ashen. Idiot. Hero. Our first. Stitches for gashes. Questions dodged with mugging. Home. Caleb nursed him fierce. Salves that hummed magic, broth spooned with gruff care. Nights, Nathan fevered, Caleb at bedside, confessions pouring. Can't lose you. Thrones nothing without. Healing brought clarity. They struck preempt. Caleb's forces raiding the 8th, Nyx captured. Her venom neutralized in a trial that Nathan oversaw. Mercy with teeth, exile over execution. The court shifted, respect hardening to loyalty. Summer's end, victory picnic in the Hamptons, beach bonfire, waves lapping. Nathan leaned into Caleb, beer cold, stars pricking velvet sky. We're good at this. Caleb's arm tightened. Yeah, but the realms, they're changing me. Nathan saw it. Faint scales at temples, eyes flecking red. We'll fight that too. Love anchored. Lazy days in bed, exploring with painter's patience. Nathan's mouth on Caleb's chest, tracing tattoos that now moved like living maps. Caleb's hands worshipping thighs, entering slow, building to symphony of shared breath. Fall deepened conflicts anew. Mortal side strained. Nathan's freelance stalled. Friends drifting from his weird phase. A family call from Ohio. Mother's voice tentative. Heard you're stable? Visit. Old wounds reopened. Coming out scars. Caleb encouraged. Go. Bridget. Thanksgiving in Ohio. Awkward turkey and sidelong glances. Nathan's brother clapped his back. Proud man. Mother hugged tight, whispering, love's love. Caleb waited in NYC, airport pickup with pizza and a grin. How'd it go? Healing. Nathan kissed him sloppy, car idling. Home. Gratitude turned carnal. Couchbound, clothes shed hasty. Nathan riding Caleb with abandon. Laughter bubbling into moans. But hell's tide rose. Reports. A greater rift, Lucifer's echo stirring. The morning star, fallen original, whispering from the abyss. He senses weakness, Caleb confided, post-descent, body trembling. Wants the throne back. Nathan's resolve hardened. Then we fortify, call in favors, Lena, the reformed circles. Coalition built, Hellfire forges crafting alliance blades, mortal hackers, Nathan's contacts, tracing abyssal signals. Training montages in abandoned warehouses, Nathan wielding evocation orbs, Caleb drilling precision. Climax loomed Yuletide, rift yawning over the Hudson, black waters churning spectral. Lucifer's avatar rose. A seraph gone wrong, wings charred, voice thunder. Usurper! The light claims its due. Battle raged riverfront. Caleb's legions clashing with fallen shades, spells lighting the night like faulty fireworks. Nathan, amplified by a borrowed amulet, hurled light binds, pinning shades. Lucifer targeted him, tendrils of regret coiling, visions of unlived lives. Caleb's face twisted in loss. No! Nathan roared, breaking free, amulet shattering in blaze. He charged, blade meeting divine fury, sparks eternal. Caleb joined, their powers sinking. Hellfire laced with mortal will, a nova that scorched the avatar. Lucifer howled, dissolving to echoes, rift sealing with a sigh. Exhaustion crashed post-battle, medics swarming, cover, industrial accident, loft recovery, soup and stories, Caleb's head in lap. You saved us. We, Nathan corrected, fingers combing hair. Reforms accelerated. Abyssal wards, inter-realm diplomacy. Nathan's influence grew. The anchor, courtiers dubbed, his sketches inspiring circle redesigns. Spring bloomed, anniversary marked. That bleaker laundromat, then the veil. Toasts to accidents, dances close. Bed later, tender. Caleb entering face to face, gazes locked. Climax a shared sob of joy. Yet whispers persisted Lucifer's full return. Mortal frailty? Nathan aged visibly, laugh lines etching, while Caleb endured. One lilac-scented dawn, Nathan voiced it. What if I can't follow forever? Caleb's hold tightened. Then we steal every now. Make Eternals jealous. Their humanism shone. Charity fronts topside, funding queer youth shelters. Nathan's touch, Caleb's resources. Love humanized hell one soul at a time. Summer's haze clung to Brooklyn like a bad hangover, heat waves warping the air over Nathan's new studio. A converted warehouse in Bushwick, canvases and drafting tables spilling into lofts where Caleb's occult tomes hid in plain sight. Business boomed ironic. Nathan's fantasy art. Infernal motifs veiled as surrealism, fetching 5 figures at shows. Caleb curated still, but shadows lengthened. Eyes distant after calls from the depths, body language screaming burdens unspoken. They navigated it with practiced grace. Date nights at Coney Island, cotton candy dissolving on tongues before hands wandered under boardwalk slats, quick and giggling. Or quiet eves cooking paella, Caleb's hips swaying to salsa as Nathan chopped, ending in flour-dusted counters and slow grinds. Sex evolved, adventurous, toys from a discreet Chelsea shop, Nathan blindfolded, Caleb's voice guiding to edges unexplored. Trust me. Always the mantra, now laced with deeper intimacy. But trust frayed at edges. Caleb's scales crept, subtle, along collarbones, vanishing under glamour but itching him raw. It's the pull, he'd mutter, scratching till blood welled. Nathan salved them, kisses gentle, but fear gnawed. Was this love's toll, or prelude to loss? Lena noticed first, over beers at her dive. He's anchoring too hard. The throne feeds on consorts. Your mortality's like acid to him. Nathan's beer soured. Fixable. Maybe. Elixir from the first circle essence of creation. Rare. Guarded by the makers. Heist pitched. Infiltrate the adamant forge, steal a vial. Caleb resisted. Too risky. But Nathan's fire won. We or nothing. Prep was montage. Lena's maps. Nathan's diversions. Illusory duplicates. Caleb's insider codes. Descent via a Jersey quarry rift. Air humming with forge songs. Hammers on anvils eternal. Sparks birthing stars. The forge was wonder and terror. Vast cavern of molten rivers. Golems toiling. Makers. Titanic artisans with eyes like suns. Overseeing. Nathan's team slipped in. Glamour's humming. Caleb as inspector. Nathan as scribe. Lena Shadowveil. Diversion. Nathan triggered a fault. Illusory tremor shaking scaffolds. Drawing eyes. In chaos, Caleb breached the vault, crystal files glowing, labeled in angelic script. Grab secured, but alarms wailed, golems lumbering. Chased through lava tubes, heat blistering. Lena's winds shielding, Nathan's binds tripping pursuers. A maker's bolt grazed Caleb, searing wing nubs budding unwilling. They burst through the rift, collapsing in the quarry, vial intact. Elixir worked slow. Caleb's scales receded, color returning over weeks. Gratitude poured. Nights of worship. Caleb mapping Nathan's body like scripture. Entering with tears in eyes. My anchor. Fall brought bounty. Art crawl in Soho. Nathan's exhibit mobbed. Caleb's pride beaming. Post-show. Alley tryst. Wall rough. Urgent. Nathan's legs wrapped. Gasps muffled in collars. But equilibrium shattered November's eve. A mortal crisis. Nathan's mother. Cancer diagnosis. Ohio calling. Come home, she pled, voice frail. Caleb urged. Go. I'll hold here. Nathan flew Midwest, hospital vigils blurring. Beeps and bleach, mother's hand thin in his. Caleb visited, glamored human, holding space with quiet strength. Walks in crisp cornfields, talks of legacies. You're her hero, Caleb said, as leaves swirled. Mother rallied, chemo biting but hope flickering. Nathan returned renewed, but jet-lagged heart heavy. Loft reunion. Caleb waiting, dinner steaming. Missed you. Words failed. Bodies spoke. Bedroom slow burn. Nathan topping for once. Caleb yielding with moans that healed. Love you, gasped into necks. Hell stirred jealous. Purest remnants, scenting division. Struck. A curse on the rift, stranding Caleb mid-descent. Days passed, Nathan pacing, Lena scrying. He's trapped in the fourth. Hoarder's maze, gold turning to serpents. Rescue mounted. Nathan solo? Amulet charged, portal forced in Central Park's bowels. The fourth was opulence nightmare. Piles of jewels writhing alive, thieves gibbering in corners. Nathan navigated, heart hammering, illusions of wealth tempting. Mansions, fame, Caleb free but distant. He resisted, blade-cutting serpents, reaching the core. Caleb chained in aureate vines, face gaunt. You came. Always. Nathan severed bonds, elixir aiding, but guardians swarmed, greed spirits, clawing for the prize. Fight brutal. Nathan dodging avarice blasts, vines lashing. Caleb freed, powers surging. They duoed, fire melting gold, whilst shattering illusions. Escape narrow, rift sealing as spirits howled. Back topside, recovery raw. Caleb's apologies for slipping, Nathan's for distance. Bond reforged in therapy. Mortal shrinks for Nathan, infernal confessors for Caleb. We're humanizing hell, Nathan quipped. Start with us. Winter solstice they hosted. Loft aglow, queer found family. Lena, artists, half-breeds. Toasts to survival, dances swaying. Midnight, balcony. Snow falling soft, Caleb's proposal redux. No bling, just marry me mortal style? Nathan's yes snowflake kissed. Ring simple gold. Engraved chosen. Wedding spring. City hall, then rooftop reception. Skyline witness. Vows personal. In worlds seen and unseen, I choose you. Vows sealed with ring exchange, then sweet. Love-making marathon. Every position a promise. Dawn finding them sated, entwined. Honeymoon hybrid, mortal keys, beaches lazy. Infernal jaunt to Elysian fringes. Fields of asphodel, picnics under phantom suns. Romance peaked. Ocean waves lapping as Caleb entered. Salt slick, gazes eternal. Return thrust into turmoil. Lucifer's tendrils probed anew. Visions plaguing courtiers, doubts sown. He's coming, Caleb confided, post-vision body shaking. Full force. The Fall 2.0. Alliance call. Realms uniting, mortal allies looped. Government whispers. Via Lena's ties. Nathan's role. Strategist, his designs for barrier arrays. Geometric wards blending tech and magic. Prep fevered. Forges roaring, legions drilling. Personal anchors. Nightly rituals, hands on bellies. Breathing synced, sex as sacrament. Tender when fear crested, fierce when resolve needed steel. The incursion hit equinox, skies splitting over the Atlantic. Lucifer ascending, seraphic glory twisted, legions of fallen trailing. Battle epic. Realms colliding, portals vomiting armies. New York ground zero, streets evacuating as skies bled. Nathan and Caleb Center. Throne projected topside, a spectral dais on the Brooklyn Bridge. Lucifer descended, voice booming psalms inverted. Brother, yield the pit. Caleb stood firm, Nathan beside. It's evolved. Mercy reigns. Clash apocalyptic. Lucifer's light beams scything demons. Caleb's shadows countering. Nathan amplified, channeling alliance wills into a nexus. A spear of unified souls, piercing the fallen's core. Lucifer staggered, form fracturing. You, taint it with flesh. We redeem it, Nathan yelled, spear thrusting true. The morning star imploded, light supernova then void. Rifts healing in afterglow. Casualties heavy. Legions mourned, city scarred, but victory absolute. Aftermath. Reform cemented. Lucifer's essence dispersed to light the circles. Ironic mercy. Nathan knighted Redeemer, but demurred. Just a guy from Brooklyn. Summer healed, rebuilds, memorials. Personal. Nathan's art sword. Book deal on infernal inspirations. Caleb softer, scales gone permanent, laughter freer. Anniversary Eve, Hampton's Redux. Bonfire, waves. Accident's gift, Caleb toasted. Nathan clinked. Our kingdom. Love deepened human. Adoptions considered, queer kid from shelter, realms orphan. Future bright, bridged. Yet humanism's core, flaws embraced, arguments flared, Nathan's impatience with bureaucracy, Caleb's secrecy slips, but mended in beds, apologies physical. One autumn dawn, Nathan woke to Caleb sketching him, pencil soft on paper. My muse. Nathan pulled him down, kiss lazy. You're everything. Autumn wove gold through the Palisades, leaves carpeting the drive from Manhattan to their new upstate retreat. A fixer-upper farmhouse on Hudson River bluffs, white clapboard and wraparound porch screaming Americana reinvention. Nathan had pushed for it. Escape the grind. Even kings need porches. Caleb caved, charmed by Nathan's vision. Herb gardens for wards, studio barn for art, master suite with clawfoot tub for diplomacy. Life bifurcated beautifully. City weeks for Caleb's galleries and Nathan's commissions. Weekends rural, farmers markets in cold spring. Hikes where hands swung laced, pausing for kisses against oaks. Sex synced to seasons. Harvest moons saw them outdoors, blanket under stars. Caleb's mouth hot on Nathan's length. Earth grounding thrusts. Winter hearths crackled with slow explorations, oils warming hands that mapped every freckle. Parenthood beckoned gentle. The kid arrived spring. Milo, 6, freckled queer refugee from a Sixth Circle foster. Glamored orphan topside, eyes holding old sorrows. Adoption papers duel, mortal courts and infernal decrees. Milo's first dad call, to Nathan over pancakes, melted defenses. Caleb's followed. Gruff. Khmer squirt. Fatherhood humanized further. Little league games in town. Caleb coaching with infernal patience. Cheating whispers quelled. Bedtime stories blending grim and grimoire. Nathan's illustrations enchanting. Nights, post-tuckin', exhaustion turned tender. Quickies in laundry room, stifled moans, or deep reconnects, bodies whispering we're enough. Challenges persisted, subtle. Milo's heritage surfaced. Accidental flames from tantrums, rifts flickering at nightmares. Therapy hybrid. Mortal shrinks for trauma. Realm healers for magic. Nathan's aging accelerated, 30s lines deepening, while Caleb's eternity mocked. Mirror hates me, Nathan joked, gray threading temples. Caleb's rebuttal. Fingers in hair, pulling for a kiss. Beautiful. Mine. Reforms rippled outward. Nathan's influence. Soul exchange program. Mortals volunteering for circle insights. Art therapists in gluttony. Easing binges with mindfulness. Backlash brewed. Purist holdouts sabotaging minor breaches. Haunted subways possessed CEOs. One escalated. A breach in Wall Street. Greed demons puppeteering traders. Markets crashing. Nathan and Caleb deployed. Glamored suits. Nathan hacking wards via tablet. Caleb exorcising boardrooms. Post-crisis, adrenaline-fueled alley. Ties loosened, pants shoved. Nathan braced against dumpster. Caleb behind, rhythm frantic. Fuck. Yes. Nathan gasped, release sinking with sealed rift. Human ties strengthened. Ohio visits annual. Mother post-remission beaming at the boys. Pride parades, rainbows draping. Caleb's first, tentative hold on Nathan's hand amid floats. Tears hidden. This world's wonder. Hell's Court evolved. Sessions streamed to the farmhouse, hologram thrones. Milo peeked once, wide-eyed. Cool castle. Reforms deepened. Queer circles for outcast shades. Nathan advocating. Love transcends pits. Betrayal's ghost lingered rare. A defector old Voskin. Lena's tip. Plotted coup. Allying with abyssal remnants. Intel leaked. Farmhouse targeted. Milo bait. Defenses primed. Wards tripled. Safe room stocked. Ambush night. Thunder rumbling. Shadows breached porch. Nathan scooped Milo. Bolting basement. Caleb confronted. Hellfire barrier flaring. Battle domestic horror. Intruders glamored as neighbors. Knives glinting. Caleb dismantled. Shadows coiling throats. But one slipped. Lunging for safe room door. Nathan burst out. Iron bar swinging, cracking skull. Milo safe but trauma etched. Aftermath purge. Traitor executed mercifully. reforms audited. Family therapy. Milo drawing bad shadows. Nathan holding, we beat 'em together. Healing in layers. Milo's soccer goals celebrated with Sundays. Couples retreat to Keys. No kid, just reconnection. Beach walks. Sunset fucks in dunes. Waves masking cries. Years layered. Milo teen, coming out awkward over pizza. Like you guys. Nathan's hug. Proud. Caleb's gruff. World's yours. Nathan's 40s crept, body softening, but desire undimmed. Caleb's touch electric, positions adaptive, joy in intimacy's evolution. Art legacy. Graphic novels on bridging worlds. Bestsellers inspiring. Caleb's changes. Occasional descent solo, returning wearier, but reforms bore fruit. Realms stabilizing, breaches rare. You're doing, he'd credit, pulling Nathan close. Climax revisited old fears. A final whisper from the abyss. Lucifer's echo coalescing, not vengeful but weary. The light seeks rest. It manifested, spectral in throne room hologram. Confrontation diplomatic. Realms convened, Nathan mediating. Redemption, he proposed. A circle for fallen, reflection, not torment. Lucifer's form shimmered, pride cracking. You offer. Peace. Choice, Caleb echoed. The accord. Exile to a neutral limbo. Monitored renewal. Echo dispersed. Realms sighing relief. Victory quiet. Farmhouse gathering, Milo grilling, Lena toasting. To accidents. Nathan's arm around Caleb. And aftershocks. Aging's arc bent. Nathan's 60s, silver fox, Milo grown, college bound, queer activist. Elixir variants tested. Mortality sharing, Caleb aging fractionally. Lines etching shared. Retirement phased. Realms to deputies focus family. Porch swings. Hands laced. Sunsets painting river gold. Sex silvered. Slower. Profound. Gazes holding as Caleb entered. Whispers of decades. One eve, Milo visiting with partner. Nathan pulled Caleb aside. Regrets. Caleb's kiss soft. None. You. Accident of a lifetime. Humanism triumphed. Love's quiet rule. Worlds bridged. Nathan's final sketch. Them enthroned not in ice, but porch rockers. Milo laughing foreground. Realms backdrop. Fire and heart intertwined. In twilight's embrace, they rocked, eternal in now.